we 2017 to 2031. It would replace an existing National Wildlife Action Plan that came into being in 2002 and is supposed to run till the current year. Implications of draft plan to mining. Mining in the forests and ecologically sensitive areas is an unsettled debate. The Environment Ministry is still working with the Ministry of Mines, Ministry of Coal and others to mark out the areas where mining will be prohibited. The draft action plan says the Environment Ministry must work with Ministry of Mines and Steel to exclude PAs, protected areas, wildlife corridors from their mining plans. Proper rehabilitation of degraded and abandoned mining areas should also be done, it says. It specifically refers to sand mining as a highly destructive activity in which many stakeholders, including politicians, are involved. Implications of draft plan to irrigation. The Ministry of Water Resources should be convinced not to pursue big projects for irrigation in the protected areas and to opt for minor irrigation relying on check dams, ponds, wells and other appropriate water harvesting units. Implications of draft plan to wildlife areas. The draft plan says while tourism in the wildlife areas needs to be encouraged, it must be strictly monitored and regulated. In case of any conflict between tourism and conservation interests of a PA, protected area, the paradigm for decision must be that tourism exists for the PAs and not vice versa, and that tourism demands must be subservient to and in consonance with the conservation interests of PA. Emphasis must be placed on tourism facilities that are sustainable, environment-friendly, moderately priced, clean and wholesome, rather than lavish, five-star facilities. The draft plan also calls for new regional forensic laboratories, a special tiger protection force, and setting up of special courts to deal with wildlife crime like poaching and smuggling. 2. Women are agents of change, says SC. GS Paper 1, Issues Related Women and Women Empowerment. Why recently in news? The Supreme Court has observed in a judgment that Indian women are no longer passive recipients of the state's welfare schemes, but active agents of change. Real development is only possible with their economic empowerment. A bench of Justices A.K. Sikri and A.M. Sapri in a 38-page verdict has highlighted how women have progressed from being the protected to becoming the protector. What are the observations of Supreme Court? Women had become dynamic promoters of social transformation that can alter the lives of both women and men. As India promotes Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Education for Girls scheme, empowerment of women is the need of the hour. The focus was slowly shifting from mere better treatment or well-being of women to empowering them to be economically independent and self-reliant, with a positive esteem, to enable them to face any situation and participate in development activities. Quoting Nobel Prize-winning economist Amartya Sen, the Supreme Court observed that economic development and women's empowerment had a symbiotic relationship. Poverty and lack of opportunity had bred inequality between men and women, the Apex Court said. It called for further policy action for women empowerment in order to stimulate economic development. Policy action is still necessary to achieve equality between genders. Such policy action would be unambiguously justified if empowerment of women also stimulates further development, starting a virtuous cycle, the court said. What for SC stated the above statement. The judgment came in a case of a woman police officer, Richa Mishra, who was denied a selection as Deputy Superintendent of Police on the ground that she was overage. The apex court directed the Chhattisgarh government to appoint her in the senior rank after agreeing with her contention that there was a 10-year relaxation in age limit for women candidates under the service rules that was solely meant to encourage women like her.